What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're reacting to Food Theory. Which bubblegum has the longest lasting flavor? One, that is a difficult thing to talk about, because that possibility is pretty out there. There's no complete solid answer in personal opinion, because I guess it depends more on taste than anything else. And with taste, it's gonna have its goods and downs. Its bright sides and its downsides. I think you all get where I'm going with this. Because I think I'm on the right track when it comes to it. Taste is a very unique thing. To the point that sometimes one person can taste something a bit longer than others, while someone else can taste it, the same thing, a bit shorter than others. Like I said, it's honestly about taste and your own taste buds. So, again, middle ground here. Middle ground. But anyway, I do hope that you all like this reaction video. If you do, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when your video comes out. If you have any videos that you would like to recommend that I should react to, put it down in the comment section below, and I'll react to them as soon as possible. But other than that, let's get straight into this video. And I see we have someone new. If I'm correct, this is MatPat's kid. So this will be interesting.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food Theory.
Perfect. Look, I'm already replaced.
Hey, so I am joined on the couch today for a very special episode of Food Theory by...
Ollie. That's me.
This is Ollie. And Ollie had a very special question for this week's Food Theory. Ollie, do you want to tell me what the question was?
What gum lasts the longest of flavor?
So as you might already be able to tell, today's episode was a bit of a special request. You see, while I love my son Ollie more than anything in the world, Ollie loves gum more than anything in the world. To him, it goes gum, mech suits, Gravity Falls, and then me and Steph. And so when he became old enough to understand that mommy and daddy ran a food experiment...
Wait. He likes Gravity Falls. Damn it, that kid has good taste. It might be a bit biased to say, but I have to admit, kid has good taste for a good TV show. Because can anyone really deny the fact that said TV show was really good? I can't. It was a really good series. It's kind of sad that it had to die out. How we could wish for like a sequel or something like that. Or maybe like a movie special, like years later or something like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But yeah,
channel, he
got
presented
good
us
taste.
with a very important question for his 5-year-old brain. Which gum has flavor that's gonna last the longest? He's been asking for this episode for the better part of the last year, and with me and my final stretch of videos, now felt like the perfect time to tackle it. So today, we're gonna kick some butt and chew bubblegum. And there's no actual butts to kick, so we're just doing the bubblegum thing.
So Ollie, do you have any hypotheses about which one is gonna last the longest?
I think it's kind of like a hard decision. I don't really know.
Is there one that you're most excited to try?
I think I'm most excited to try bazooka.
I'm sorry that you're gonna be disappointed by that one.
Turns out he was not. As for the rest of us, yeah, it wasn't our favorite.
Oh my god. Oh, that do I remember.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about today's experiment, shall we?
Yeah.
Our goal today is to crown one gum as the ruler of the wad. And in order to do that, we're going to be evaluating 21 different gums across
my
three
God.
major criteria.
Oh no, I know some of these because family members of mine usually say that they have gum for like for the trip back home after work from when I was younger to very much everywhere. Some say it because they have bad breath. Some say they want fresh smelling breath for a date. Some say that they do it because they need something to keep them going as they work. This is it. This is literally all. I know and tried almost all of these. I had this. I had this. I had that. I had that. Oh, you better believe I tried all the Hubba Bubbles. That. That gum. Had some of that once, but a different color. I probably had that too. I think I had this like once. I had that. I had that. The only ones I can say I didn't have, minus the small tiny candy things you get like from like Halloween or small, I don't know, is probably the Victory, the Gum Fries, and the Glee. I don't know if I had Mini Me or not. It looks and sounds familiar, but I don't recall. I honestly don't recall that one. It's like it's there on the tip of my tongue. I just don't know. Oh man, I had a lot of these gums. Honestly, they don't last long. Usually I have to get like a second piece and then chew.
First off, we have flavor.
Tell me what
How
you
tasty
think
is
is the gum that's going to last longest in the comment
Next,
section
we have
below.
Texture. This is the mouthfeel and chewability of the gum. This grades whether a gum is comfortable to keep in your mouth or if it feels like you're gnawing on a spare tire. Finally, we have ourselves time. This is the
that
length
makes
of time
sense.
that it takes for the sticky gum to lose its flavor and become a bland piece of goo that you just want to spit out. Seeing as this is the criteria that Ali was so intent on exploring, he's devised himself the perfect means of testing it.
How about we set a timer for like how long the gum's flavor lasts, so we like know how long, and you could pause the timer when I spit out the gum.
You can tell that he's been thinking about this episode for a while. Also, let's be clear so we're all on the same page. I recognize that this whole episode was just his backdoor way of getting us to buy tons of gum to have lying around the house. Anyway, per Ollie's instructions, me, Steph, and HR department extraordinaire Rachel are each gonna be chewing every piece of gum and timing it. That way we can average out our scores to best estimate the average chew time for each brand of gum. And since we're dealing with so many different types of gum today, we're actually gonna break things down into 3 separate rounds. Round 1 is dedicated to gum targeted at kids. I'm talking about all the Hubba Bubbas, the Bubbliciouses, the bubble tapes that you remember from your childhood. Round 2 will
Makes sense. Those are like the very store top brands, especially when you go to the counter, they're right there.
be for gums that are marketed towards adults. And finally, there's round
True,
3, which
true,
will be
that
the
makes sense.
Wacky Bracky.
The first brand like has like cartoonish stuff. They have this brand logo, whatever it has, that a kid would go looking at it and go like, wow, I want this. The second one, Yeah, that would be something I've seen most adults, not really, all adults have. And
Where
the
we take
Wacky,
all the oddball gimmick gums like
Yeah,
green apple flavored
makes
gummy
sense.
paste or gum cigarettes, and they're all gonna duke it out for their shot.
I
at
don't
the
think
title.
I had a
Once
lot
we've
of
tallied
those.
up all the scores for each gum division, the top 3 gums will head to
The
the final
first 2 rounds I
round, where
had
they'll be
enough
judged by
of,
none
so-
other than Ollie himself. Which one will earn the coveted Ollie seal of approval, and which one will have their bubble burst? Today is certainly a mystery that'll give us plenty to chew on. Round number 1, kid flavors. Our 7 contestants for round 1 represent the gold
to be
standard
fair,
for childhood chewing, ranging from double bubble gumballs to bog
me a
standard
Coke
bubblicious to
episode
the
dedicated to
tooth-breaking
himself,
bazooka
so
and the iconic
this is
bubble
fair.
tape.
A staple,
Episode
a staple
have-
of childhood.
That being said, though, don't you dare be one of those people that I see circulating online who like pop it out of the bubble tape dispenser and like bite into it.
That can't be real.
For a rise. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's people provoking the internet just to provoke the internet.
The flame
Yeah.
wars.
If you are that person,
Stop.
Stop.
Just stop it.
who hurt you?
Truly.
I'm sorry. Please
wrong with you?
seek help.
However, as we
I
got
don't
started
believe
with
that's
the
a thing.
experiment, one
I don't
thing
think that's
became
a thing.
immediately clear.
Who
Each gum
would do
is
that?
a different size. I mean, you
That
could
is-
pop just a small single gumball into your mouth, or you could shove an entire roll of bubble tape in there. To make it a fair fight, we decided to stick to a single serving size of each respective brand. So, with that out of the way, it was time to start the experiment with the classic Gumball Machine Gumball Double Bubble.
So winner 2.
There's already so much saliva in my mouth.
Right? Oh,
Man.
wet, hard chewy experience. I should stop.
It's a wet orange. Oh no. Oh, we're already off to a great start here,
Anyway.
friend.
We had literally just started the episode, and already the suggestive puns were popping up all over the place.
I'm really enjoying my artificial cherry over here. It's
Yeah,
very
that's good.
artificial. It's very little cherry.
I'm already losing it.
I was gonna say, that being said,
It's going
we are
fast.
definitely on the down arc. We are less than a minute in. And it's like gone.
It's going down fast.
Yeah.
Wow, it's going down fast.
But it is a workout. I feel my jaw. It is a small ball, but it is a hearty ball.
It's a small ball, but it's a hearty ball. Slap that one on my gravestone. Anyway, 2 minutes later.
A lackluster 90 seconds. What can you buy for a
1
quarter?
minute 30.
That's true. That's true.
You know, you got 90 seconds of moderate pleasure.
Anyway.
Let's just move on to the next
Do we have
one.
to rate the other
Yes.
stuff?
We
Yes,
have
okay.
so many to get through.
We do.
And we're already in such bad innuendo territory.
Overall, our first contender kicked things off with a pretty disappointing start. Low scores across the board, which meant Bubble Yum was up next. And unlike the gumballs,
Flavor looks
Bubble Yum's
pretty
intended
good.
serving size was huge. More than triple
That's
the
it.
size of a mini gumball, which, you know, gave us plenty of chew time to learn more about each other.
Since this is a long one, I'm gonna hear a weird story about bubblegum.
I love to hear a weird story about bubblegum. As everyone with an esophonia slowly cringes away from the computer.
So when I was 8, I, for some godly unknown reason, I really wanted braces. Yeah,
The only kid in history to say that.
but someone told me once that if you chew a lot of gum, it'll actually, it'll mess up your teeth. It'll make your teeth crooked, which I'm sure is a complete lie. But when I would chew gum, which wasn't like that often, but if I would chew gum, I would purposely try and tangle it around in my teeth to try to make my teeth more crooked to increase the likelihood that I would get braces. I'm so sorry to my parents who probably spent like $12,000 trying to fix my teeth.
You.
What
That
the
wasn't the only
heck?
secret to come out during all this.
I can't blow bubbles.
What?
Over my face.
Wait, what?
I can't
Are
blow
you
bubbles.
How have I
Flattening it
known you
first?
for this long and you can't blow bubbles?
I can't blow bubbles.
I can't do it either, so
I'm
I
incapable
feel its
of-
pain.
It is perhaps my deepest, darkest secret. And as you might imagine, it suddenly became my co-host's life's work to teach me what I needed to know. It led to a very moist journey.
Yeah. And then. You just pretty much just spit at me.
I can't do it. I've never learned how to blow bubbles. I've tried a couple times
No
in my life.
way.
I've never been able to.
I've known Matthew for 17 years and I had no idea he couldn't blow bubbles.
Well,
You've hidden this secret so well.
Well, I've also known you for 17 years, and I didn't know that you purposely tried to wreck your mouth for braces, so I feel like we're learning a lot about each other in this episode.
Keep looking at it. You have 30
heck?
pieces of gum to try today.
And so, try I did. Try being the operative word here.
I feel like
Oh, my kid practiced.
Oh, you got Bubblicious coming up too, so.
Now, get some, I heard some pop. I heard some pop. Did I do it?
Try it. Try it.
Something in the technique just escapes me. Honestly, blowing bubbles might just be the single hardest thing that I've ever had to do for this channel. And that's saying a lot coming from a guy who's eaten a Christmas tree and suffered through intensely spicy hot sauces.
How are you extracting your tongue from the bubble gum?
It's a great question.
What do you mean? The tongue doesn't stay in there.
I have a hard time
You
getting
set
my
it up
tongue
on your
out.
teeth. You flatten it out.
Have we mentioned that Rachel is our HR department?
There it is. Rachel from HR. Once my tongue has been inserted, I have a really hard time pulling it back out.
I think practice makes perfect, you know?
Oh
This was
my
the point where it
gosh.
dawned on us that this was going to be a long shoot. So to move things along, let me give you the abridged taste test. Bubble Yum ended up scoring 8s across the board in flavor and an average slightly higher in texture thanks to its pillowy chew, allowing it to set the bar for
fair,
high-quality,
fair.
long-lasting gums. Bubblicious Watermelon was fairly solid across the board, but where it really shined was with the bubbles. It got consistently large bubbles from both Rachel and Steph, and it even gave me my first bubble experience.
Hey! You did it! You did it! You
That
did
was
it!
fun.
That counts, right? Now, for any of you who are like me and are incapable of getting a bubble to form, I looked up the science and technique for mastering bubble bending. For starters, make sure you're chewing bubble gum and not chewing gum. I didn't know this until doing research and prep for
Okay.
this episode, but not all gum is capable of blowing bubbles. You see, both types of gum are composed of 4 main components. There's the gum base, which is historically derived from gum tree resins, but are now mostly made with synthetic rubber. There's a softener that prevents the gum from becoming too hard on the shelf. There's sweeteners like sugar or aspartame, and then finally there's the flavor agent that gives the gum its distinct taste. What makes bubblegum special though is that it has more elastomers in its gum base than chewing gum. On a molecular level, elastomers are long chain polymers that give materials an elastic quality. In order to get a bubble out of bubblegum, it's recommended that you chew out most of the flavor. This is because the sugary flavor of most bubblegums make the gum stiffer. Chewing out the sugar then unshackles the elastomers and gives them the chance to really stretch. Once the gum is soft and it's lost its sugar, the trick is to flatten out the wad of gum using your tongue and the roof of your mouth. Then it's a matter of creating a pocket of air to enter with your tongue. Next, you'll want to breathe out slowly. I didn't know this at the time, but you're supposed to blow from your diaphragm. If you just blow from your lips, you're gonna end up turning that wet wad into a projectile. Follow these tips, and the results will speak for themselves.
You got it. You got it. Hey! Hey!
Best one.
I did it!
That was the best one.
I'm so proud of
That's
myself.
great.
By the way, that mediocre but new personal record bubble is the next gum that we tested, the Hubba Bubba Max. Score-wise, this gum ended up being very similar in taste and texture with the Bubblicious, but disappointingly, while it looks like it has a gummy gusher on the packaging, the reality is that the center filling is just darker dyed gum. The interesting thing though is that this gum led us to a surprising discovery. Despite producing the largest bubble of the experiment, this achievement came at a price: the flavor's staying power. We found that with all their bubble blowing, Rachel and Steph's flavors were fading faster than my gum that I was chewing away on. So what's the deal? Well, from what we found out, it has less to do with the act of blowing bubbles and more to do with the saliva itself. The vigorous chew that you need to stretch the elastomers in the gum naturally circulates more saliva throughout your mouth. And as we mentioned in our toothbrush episode over on Style Theory, genetically, everyone has slightly different levels of saliva. The composition of our spit is influenced by genetics, diet, our stress levels, even the time of day. Rachel, for instance, consistently was
Fair.
the first to spit out the majority of the gums throughout this experiment, likely meaning that her saliva was just better equipped for breaking down the chemical bonds that were embedded in the gum. Either that, or she had work to do and was in a hurry to get through the 5 hours of shooting that we wound up doing. Speaking of how long
Damn.
we were sitting there, by the way, by the end of the third gum, our jaws were exhausted. That's why Steph decided to bust out the big guns.
So what is this? What am I supposed
What
to do with this?
Rub
is
it all
that?
over your face.
Oh my god. Does it feel nice? Working?
It did not. That said, it also didn't matter. I needed all the help I could get for Bazooka.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh my god. Oh, it's as bad as I remember. Oh man.
That's tough.
You know,
Oh wow, I shouldn't do this with permanent teeth.
you remember the big hydraulic press
Yeah.
trend that was big a couple years ago?
Love
Yeah.
that.
There needed to be a video about hydraulic press versus bazooka bubble.
That was valid.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was just as bad as I remember.
Oh, I think I
Almost
know
as bad
that
as
one.
the jokes that they come packaged with.
Is this enough for 3 socks?
I think I know which gum that is. I think I actually did have it. It was that super hard gum that you just have to crunch crunch your teeth on, and even then it takes time and effort to actually make it chewable. Like, it takes so much effort just to get it done that it's not funny. It is horrifyingly difficult, and it actually once hurt my jaw for a while.
Why 3 socks? You wrote in his letter, 2 weeks in the army, and I've grown another foot.
I don't get it.
I ordered apple, waiter. This looks like peach. This is referring to a pie. What does it taste like, says the waiter. I'm not sure, he says. Then the waiter says, then what difference does it make?
For those of you who
That
aren't
was
aware,
terrible.
Bazooka is iconic for its packaging, which comes with a short mini-comic and fortune on every slab of gum. It's a cool enough feature that we gave Bazooka a bonus point for creativity, but in the end, it wasn't nearly enough to make up for the texture or flavor. That brought us to the last 2 contenders in the kid category, a head-to-head battle between 2 titans, Big League Chew and Bubble Tape. In one corner, we had the tall, pink, and handsome, 6 feet of childhood memories rolled up in the most iconic gum packaging of all time. In the other corner, we had the all-American baseball classic snack that was every kid's gateway into the world of chewing tobacco. Who would win the battle? Well, the results immediately spoke for themselves.
Oh, this is too soft. It's
But
like
all the
there's
other ones-
no elasticity in this at all.
You bite down through it, and your teeth just pass through. Like there's no substance here. Oh, that was soft to begin with.
Oh, right off the bat.
Wow.
Oh, I like these first few chews, though. I have to say, they were very nice.
And when it came to Bubbles, it was a similar story.
Oh,
No bubbles.
no bubbles. Oh, yo.
No, the holes happen immediately.
It
There's
just breaks
nothing.
down.
I mean,
Oh,
everything's bad for bubbles. Hey,
Hey.
pretty good.
it's not too bad.
You have to do more with less.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
hey.
nice.
All in all, Big League Chew brought out the big league numbers. In fact, not only was its texture the best of the round,
Damn.
it was also the longest lasting, setting a record at 9 minutes and 38 seconds. In fact, when all the results were tallied, Big League
Let me look at this. Creativity was great. Can't deny that. Okay, so the Hubba Bubba is worse than the Hubba Bubba that's the 6 feet long flat thing is worse than the Hubba Bubba strawberry flavor. But the Big League Chew, better time, as good texture, and not bad flavor.
Chew upset all the fan favorites and came out on top as the best overall kids gum. Turns out it's in the official Baseball Hall of Fame for a reason. But don't worry there, Bubble Tape fans, it's still top gum in one category, angering the internet.
Oh,
No!
why? Why?
It didn't deserve that.
None of us did.
Round number 2, adult
Oh,
gums.
no.
As we headed into the adult gums, little did we know that we had a lot more chewing to undertake. It turns out that these chewing gums retain their flavor much longer than their bubblegum counterparts, like double the time in most cases. And the worst part of it all is that a lot of the gums just ended up being very similar across all 3 categories. Luckily, you don't have to sit through the 2 hours of endless chewing that we had to. So while Matt passed his
Okay.
chewing the day away, let's just talk about what's going into these chewing gums and why they're so different from the first batch. You see, most of these adult gums are recommended by 4 out of 5 dentists. That struck us as a weird fact, so we decided to dig in. Turns out it has to do with the sugar substitutes. Sugar-free gum can actually help protect your teeth from cavities. A natural sugar alcohol called xylitol is usually added to sugar-free chewing gums in place of sucrose. The reason why sugar is bad for your teeth is that the bacteria in plaque metabolizes it into acid that burns cavities into your pearly whites. But the bacteria in plaque is unable to use xylitol as a food source. Adding insult to injury, xylitol also increases the amino acids and ammonia levels of plaque, which further neutralize plaque's acidic qualities. By curbing this harmful bacteria's growth, xylitol prevents tooth decay and bad breath. In addition, chewing gum after a meal increases saliva flow to your mouth, washing away additional food debris that would otherwise stick to your maw and feed that bacteria. Oh, and if you think you're missing any vital action while I'm sharing you all this, don't worry about it. So here's how the round shook out. Mentos gum was far and away the worst in the 3 categories.
Let me go back for a second. I need to see the whole thing.
So here's how the
Okay, so the Big 5 one, I think that's what it's called. honestly lasted the longest. 13 minutes. Not bad. That's not bad at all. The texture, not bad either. It's like a 3/4 of the way there. And the flavor, well, yeah, the flavor definitely surpassed everything else. Huh. So that means it lasted longer, it tasted better, and so on and so forth. That's interesting.
Round shook out. Mentos gum was far and away the worst in the 3 categories.
For me, it was a 5 because knowing that this is Mentos, and I usually have, if I'm going to have Mentos, I have the candy version, and I had the same texture biting into it. I wanted it to be candy. I expected it to be candy. There were moments where I was like, is this gum? Is this really gum? I've met a 5.
You could say that it kind of sat in the uncandy valley.
Oh!
Joining Mentos in the bottom 4 of this round, we had Trident, followed by Orbit,
Okay,
and
that
then
was a
Cinnamon
bit funny.
Icebreakers. While the cinnamon ended up being one of my favorite flavors of the entire day, the short life and stiff competition hurt its overall placement. Icebreakers, you may have only lasted 6 minutes and 48 seconds, but you'll last forever in my heart. Tied for best flavor of the day was a classic of the gum world. Our 3rd place finisher for adult gums, Wrigley's Double Mint. Mr. Wrigley is actually
Really?
the IRL Willy Wonka of the gum world. His company controls
Oh.
40% of worldwide gum sales.
Oh.
So it's no surprise that one of his classic flavors placed so highly. In fact, the battle for the best adult chewing gum came down between 2 of his other top sellers, 5 Gum and Extra. Yeah, as it turns out, Wrigley has really cracked the code for a satisfying gum chewing experience. And so no matter who won
Now
this
that's
bracket,
evolution.
he
That's
was ultimately the big
development.
winner, walking
That's
home with
age.
the gold, the silver, and the bronze. As far as our top 2 goes, not only did both 5 Gum and Extra hit above average marks in the texture and flavor categories, but they also had flavor that lasted long past the 10-minute mark. In the end, 5 Gum proved that it was more than just a meme, stimulating our senses with a chewing average of 13 minutes and 6 seconds.
This has real staying power. 5 gum. Last 10.
Now that the boring dentist approved adult round has itself a champion, let's check out what the Wacky bracket has in store. Round number 3, Wacky bracket. So these are gums that just don't quite fit into the other categories. They're a little bit off the wall, which was a nice change after the 2 hours of monotonous chewing that we were left with for round 2. On our sampling platter, we had mini chickles, gum fries, Glee all-natural chewing gum, the fruit-shaped seedlings, spruce tree gum, gummy gel, even more tobacco propaganda in the form of candy cigarettes. And let me just make one thing clear right at the top of
Okay, one, I have never heard of spruce candy. I have heard of seedlings, the Glee, and the gummy, not so much. I think I had mini-me's once, or seen someone have it once. I don't know. Never knew there was gum fries. But I'm not really a big fan of the
this
gum.
round. Practically all of these sucked. While the mini chickles were fun, their tiny size also brought tiny flavor. But I'd rather a small amount of flavor any day compared to whatever flavor the gum fries were trying to serve.
Oh, I'm eating dry powder that is supposed to be sweet, but is like 3 doors away from sweet.
Not only is the flavor diminishing pretty
Or
quickly,
getting worse.
but it's actually getting worse. The flavor is changing and becoming more and more synthetic.
I don't use the word heinous too often in my life. This is heinous.
It tastes expired.
Fortunately, the fries didn't have much staying power, meaning that I could cleanse my mouth with the healthiest chewing gum brand that we could get our hands on, Glee. And right away with Glee, you could tell that it was the healthy option.
100% natural, no plastic.
What?
I say as I take out the plastic. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners. This is cane sugar, gum base, which is the chicle, Candelia wax, citric acid, brown rice syrup, gum Arabic, natural flavors, strawberry, raspberry, and blueberry, radish.
But in a gum competition full of big wads of sugar, yeah, healthiness is not scoring you any points. We then moved on to the very strange seedlings, which are more or less the same double bubble gum balls that we tried in the first round, but with 2 added gimmicks. First, they're
it's
shaped
still
like a fruit, which
honestly
is a lot of fun. Secondly, they're filled with
surprises
little
me.
grains of candy inside that act like seeds. You can rattle them around like little maracas.
Yeah, you hear it.
But for as cool as these realistic looking mini oranges and lemons were, they were not for the weak of jaw.
I'm having a hard time cracking them.
What the what?
I gotta say though, my jaw feels like it's getting the workout of a lifetime.
This one in particular, it's really hard.
It doesn't
Like,
get
I'm
easier.
working.
I mean, it does get easier because the beginning was really tough, but it doesn't get easy.
Despite technically earning the longest chew of the round, their texture was so rough and grainy that it tanked any chance of winning. Which brings us to the next one, which kinda needs an explanation. You see, this one comes to us thanks to the Christmas tree episode from a couple weeks ago. We had a late shipment of spruce gum that we were originally gonna be using for that episode, but it arrived late, so we figured we could use it here. And if you've learned anything during my attempts to get my family and employees to consume an entire spruce tree, spruce flavoring is really strong. Since we've had this gum kicking around the office for a while, Rachel actually knew what we were getting ourselves into.
I'm excited to see y'all's reaction to the texture specifically.
Okay, so the texture.
Yes.
When you tell me spruce gum, I'm surprised that it's not the flavor of it that's.
I mean, they're all surprising. In terms of timing, I don't think we're gonna make it to the end,
Okay.
to be fair.
Really?
So
Okay.
I think probably try to do this as long as you possibly can.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
It looks like a
reassuring.
Tootsie Roll.
Yes, it does. It looks kind of cute.
It
Spruce gum.
doesn't sound
3,
reassuring.
2, 1.
I'm terrified now. Oh. Oh, okay.
Why it's just so crunchy.
Oh.
Gum.
Oh, I heard that.
Ew.
I heard the crunchy.
Oh no.
Oh.
Dry.
Okay, that
That has a
Okay.
very strong texture.
It like breaks apart in your mouth. and
probably
you get it.
not gonna have
then it gets
that for
softer.
any time in my life.
Oh yeah. You have to congeal it with your spit.
Oh.
Yeah, upon first biting into it, it explodes into a dry, woodsy powder. Which just goes to show, kids, purchasing loose candies from strangers off Etsy is always a bad idea.
It does remind me a little bit of like a Tootsie Roll. Like I keep biting it and I keep hoping that it'll like lessen in my mouth.
It's like having a piece of bark in your mouth. No, I keep waiting for some sort of sweetness to come out.
Nope, and it doesn't get better.
It is not emerging. Oh, the flavor comes on in the second wave.
Oh yeah.
When you breathe out, it's pure pine needles. I mean, just absolutely unadulterated fur. I feel like I'm losing the will to chew.
Ash is handling this well.
Yeah, it's like I'm chewing the concept of nature.
Like I'm
That-
trying the concept of nature. Yeah.
Sounds accurate.
Now, this is me totally not making an excuse to spit out this pine sol flavored Tootsie Roll, but I actually think the flavor does go away. It's just that the spruce lingers on in your mouth for a long time afterward. So without reasoning, we decided to call our homemade spruce tree gum totally flavorless at 351. Our penultimate gum of the experiment was Victory branded gum cigarettes. And let me tell you, the packaging on these bad boys is shockingly realistic.
I didn't realize that they were like this.
What the heck?
But you open the pack, and I mean, you are literally getting a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like-
Ash, you like candy cigarettes too, right?
I do.
You want one of these?
For sure.
Wow, you're such an enabler, Steph.
I know.
Just say no, Ash.
You want one?
I'm saying yes.
Wait, so you put it in your mouth and blow, does it make a little puff?
What?
Try it, try it.
You can't be kidding me.
Did you do that? Did you know it would do that?
I vaguely remember it from
Are
my
you kidding?
childhood, yeah. Yeah, you only get like one out of it.
No way.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. This is nuts.
This is propaganda.
Oh, absolutely it is. So my only question is, does it get a bonus point for that? Because I'm real conflicted. On one hand, I'm like, that's really fun and cool. But on the other hand, it's like, but it's cigarettes for kids.
But if we're gonna give Big League a bonus point, I feel like this can also have a bonus.
This is a very creative presentation, I have to say.
Okay, let's give it a bonus point.
It's at
I'm
this
not
point that I
very
feel
proud of
compelled to
that.
share the message. Don't smoke, theorists. It's gross. It'll rot your body into an early grave. That said, this
Definitely.
obviously isn't a cigarette, it's a stick of gum. I just want to make that point very, very clear because 3 minutes into chewing this stick of gum, something became obvious to me.
Actually gets much softer.
Oh no.
Who's gonna win this round too? Oh no.
The smoking propaganda is gonna win the third round.
You're gonna give this to your child.
No, and what's worse is that Big League Chew won round number one. No, we're in the darkest timeline.
Like Big League Chew, these candy cigarettes scored remarkably high. The flavor was good, it lasted a while, the texture was nice, especially when you compare it to the lineup of stinkers that we had throughout round 3. But there was still one contender left, a glimmer of hope that this love letter episode dedicated to my son didn't have to hard pivot into a strange promotion for tobacco-related gum products. And that
No. Please don't. No. I never had one. I've seen people chew them, but I never had one because I still, no matter what, to this concept, do not like cigarettes. I, in any way or shape or form, prefer someone not having a cigarette in my household. I'm expecting them to throw the shit away the second they try to come to my house with cigarettes. I do not care if they're gonna have some kind of problems with the withdrawal of cigarettes. I do not want anyone with a freaking cigarette near my house. They can go straight to HELL, and I wouldn't care because that is not something I want in my house.
That hope was gummy green apple paste. Could this toothpastey gel-based gum keep me from being
Okay.
scientifically obligated into giving my son a gateway gum?
No.
Oh, oh no.
No, it could not.
I thought mine was the worst texture. It's not, it's this. Is this gum?
Oh, I hate this.
Yeah, there was no hope. This was truly the darkest timeline. With 3 rounds complete, the results were in. The top contenders were 5 Gum, Big League Chew, and Candy Cigarettes. So, not wanting to skew the results, but also not wanting to feed our son a bunch of child-friendly propaganda, we decided to rebrand things a little bit. Ollie would be tasting the creatively named 5 Gum, Shredded Gum, and Stick Gum. Let's
Please do that, because I do not want to see the case where where this kid actually goes around saying that cigarette gum is like the best gum, or the chewing tobacco thing that isn't chewing tobacco but is just gum made to look like chewing tobacco. Oh my gosh. This is, oh my gosh. I never realized this before. How have I not realized this? Oh my gosh. We are in the dark timeline. Oh no.
just hope that he never asks us to pick up more at the store. Final round, Ollie's choice. After 5 hours of patiently waiting for mom and dad to finally allow him to test the mountain of gum that he'd been eyeing, my boy was off to the races.
Can I start chewing?
Oh, yeah.
Start chewing.
Start with your
Ready,
phone.
go. That was kind of hard,
Start the stopwatch.
We
Oh, you
got
want me
it.
to
We
time it
got
for
it.
you?
Oh, yeah.
I can time it for you, bud.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And are you gonna go until it loses its flavor?
Whoa.
Oh, man.
I'm usually just focused on the gum.
Just focused on the gum.
He's focused on the gum.
Single-minded. I appreciate your resolve.
Focused on the gum.
To me, this is kind of a short-lasting gum.
Yep.
I think the flavor's all done.
Okay.
The flavor's all done?
Then let's spit it
All right,
out.
you spit it right into the trash can?
That was 128.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, just
Oh, there we go. All right.
Start the clock.
This really tastes like Hubba Bubble Bubble tape. Huh?
Yep.
so you discovered that. Well done, bud.
Okay, it kind of lost its flavor.
all done? Okay.
No way. Okay, so that was at 1 minute and 22 seconds.
Now, this one is a very minty one, okay? Just so you know.
I've tried it extra like a million times. I've got this.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of spew.
Yeah, I can see his priorities in gum.
I'm kind of holding with this piece for now.
Okay, great. That is a minute 30.
All right.
I also threw in a slab of the gum that he'd been requesting forever, Bazooka.
Bazooka, bazooka.
Oh
warning, this one
no.
starts
No,
off
you're gonna
Very
hate it.
hard.
You're gonna
it
hate
will
it.
get softer, but it starts off very
I don't
hard.
care.
Gum. mommy and daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this fortune has already proven true.
But what would be his overall winner? Well, defying all odds, it actually was the bazooka. He chewed it the longest, he loved the comic, even if he didn't quite understand it, and for the next 3 days, he chose that as his dessert of the day, over all other gums, candies, cookies, and ice cream that we could offer him. I don't know what was more shocking, the fact that he liked it so much, or the fact that he still has teeth after chewing those bricks for 3 days straight. That said, when it came to our actual results and the 3 finalists that we had for this episode, what did Ollie say?
Of the 3 gums,
Just those 3.
the stick gum,
Yeah.
the shreddy gum, and the spearmint gum, which was your favorite? Which would you say is the top?
I think it's the shred gum.
And there you have it, friends. Of all the gum in the world, Ollie gives the coveted seal of approval to Shred Gum, aka Big League Chew. Who knew that family-friendly chaw would be so good? I guess I'm gonna have to lock this video away from Ollie until he turns 18. Anyway, with my parental promise now fulfilled, there was one thing left to do. Give Ollie his first ever sign-off.
That's just a theory. A food theory.
Happy chewing.
But hey, if you want something to chew on that's not gonna leave your jaw hurting and probably is a lot more nutritious than gum, make sure to check out our sponsor for today's episode, Cook Unity. I gotta say this.
Okay, so he held off on the thing where. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's a fair
This
one.
gum episode. And as always, my friends, remember it's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
Okay. I have to admit, we are probably in the dark timeline. Considering the fact that the 3 best long-lasting gums are Big League Chew, cigarette gum, for 2 separate categories, while the only sane and healthier option being Big 5, Take 5, I forgot the name, because this is still shocking me. But yeah. We are definitely in the dark timeline, are we? There is no way of going back from this. We are in the dark timeline of the point that apparently the so-called gum that's the best is yeah, I don't think I need to say more. So with this said, I hope you all enjoy. I honestly don't know what to say at this point because of the fact that 2 of the 3 gums that were best picked for each category was, yeah. Gonna say that the Take 5 would probably be the longest and probably the best option to get. It's healthier, it lasts longer in flavor and taste, and it takes a while before you really need to spit it out. So, in all honesty, not a bad end, really. If anything else, it's probably the best option you're going to get here. So, yeah, with this said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Honestly, in the comment section below, tell me if we're in the dark timeline, because we have 2 separate gums that is kind of related to tobacco. That is the best in their own category. Being kid flavor, cartoony, and funky. never thought we would reach this point in life to realize that the best gums are, yeah. Anyway, hope you all enjoy once again, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.